Remember this, Cade?
Yeah, I remember. I remember that. You didn't see it last time.
Well, I thought, what's he doing? Now I know.
Let me know. We are live.
Do you want to start with the opening statement?
Sure. Appreciate everybody being here. It's nice to be back in Salt Lake City, and we had a good road week last week. Opened up Pac-12 play at UCLA and then at USC, and we're fortunate to get the split. And anytime in the Pac-12 if you can get a split on the road, it's a good week. We always want to win every game we play, but I was proud of our team for bouncing back and winning kind of a tough, ugly game at USC, which was great. And so now we are at home. We have the Arizonas this weekend, Arizona State first on Friday, and then Arizona on Sunday, and then we have another week at home against the Bay Area schools next week. So it's nice to be back here and practicing in our own gym and sleeping in our own beds and all that good stuff. But we've got to capitalize on the opportunities and just continue to get better.
You mentioned that the team bounced back after that UCLA loss. How important is it for the team to be able to do that, especially on the road?
Well, I think it's a sign. The games are hard on the road, and it doesn't matter who you're playing, where you're playing. It's hard on the road. It really is. And in this conference where everybody's really, really good, there's really no room for mental lapses. And in that first half against USC, I thought we had a really good first quarter. We got into foul trouble. Emily Potter and Wendy and I both got in foul trouble, and so we couldn't play them. We had to kind of go small, which we hadn't really practiced. And I just felt like we lost our composure. We kind of lost our edge. We lost our game plan. Everything kind of just fell apart, and we stumbled into halftime. We had a challenging halftime, and I just challenged them to toughen up, muscle up, grow up. Let's do this, and they did. And so we didn't play perfectly in that second half, but we sure as heck played a lot tougher than we did in that second quarter. And so to me, there's always room for X's and O's improvement, and you can watch, and we watched film yesterday on the game of the many different things we got to improve upon and work on. But I was really proud of just our toughness, and that shows me kind of what we have deep down in the tank in terms of the ability to fight back. And we were down 11 at half, down by as much as 13. So we fought back, and to do that on the road is big, and I'm proud of our team for that.
We're just 2 games into conference play, but what improvements has Emily Potter made from last year to this year, and what can we expect to continue to see throughout the rest of the conference?
Well, I think the UCLA game was kind of a good showing as to, we hadn't played. UCLA's 10th in the country, I think, now. They're really good, picked to win it, and we hadn't played anybody of that caliber in our preseason, and so that was kind of eye-opening, and especially for Emily. They really came at her, as did USC, and that's what it's going to be. Every conference opponent, that's going to be one of their keys to winning is to kind of just beat her up and try to shut her down. And but I thought she responded. I mean, she had 20 against UCLA, 16 or 15 against USC. And that's impressive when you know the other team is just coming at her. So she's improved a lot in her strength. Last year she was getting knocked down quite a bit. She's staying on her feet. She's finishing through contact. I think she's becoming more poised, a little smarter out there. Like I always say about her, she can still even get better, and which is exciting. So, but we're not a one-headed monster. We've got a whole roster of players that can play, that are good Pac-12 players. So even though we know the game plan is going to be to try to, really focus on Potter, we've got other players that can definitely step up and contribute when we need them to.
Kind of bouncing off back of that with the whole team contributing. Erica had 10 rebounds, your point guard, against UCLA, and Utah leads the league in rebounds. What's so important about getting those rebounds and getting those possessions in conference play?
Well, I think, we've been some of the reason that I think the primary reason that we're 12-1 right now is because of our defense. We've been really, really good defensively from a statistical standpoint, from a points allowed, field goal percentage, all those things. And rebounding, it simply kind of completes, it's about possessions, right? So defensively, it kind of finishes your possession and eliminates the opponent for getting another possession. And then offensively, it's a chance to extend a possession, get another one. And it's all about possessions. It's a game of possessions, and especially in the Pac-12, when every game is going to be close. We know that. And so if you can limit possessions by defensively rebounding, or you can extend your possessions by offensively rebounding, it's a key, and that's why it's such a huge thing for me and what we emphasize in our program. And for us to win games in the Pac-12, we've got to continue to be really, really good on the boards.
And then what are some of your keys leading up to Friday's game against Arizona State?
Well, Arizona State's really good. No, I mean, I'm not the first person to sit up with a microphone and say that. Everybody knows they're good. They're top 25. They've been top 25. I think their coaching staff does a really good job. The thing about Arizona State is I think they have their identity as a program. They know who they are. They know what makes them good. So I always respect that about teams. You can watch one game or you can watch 100 games, and they kind of play the same way. And that's a sign of a team that knows who they are and what makes them good, and I like that. And what they are is really physical, really aggressive, really tough defensively. They try to kind of take you out of what you want to do, try to make it so that you can't execute what you want to do, and they're effective in it. So what are keys to winning? What are our keys going into Friday night is we've got to combat that. We've got to be determined to do what we want to do, play the way we want to play. And, last year they kind of took it to us at their place. I think they were 9th in the country at the time we played them. So we only played them once last year, and we only play them once this year. So this is our one chance at them, unless we see them in the Pac-12 tournament. But they're good. They're tough. They're physical. They've got great post play. Their guards are young. They graduated some of their good guards, but their guards are talented. So we'll have our hands full. It should be a really good game.
Looking at the Utah roster, you guys have 3 Canadians on your team, 2 starters, 1 coming off the bench for you guys, another one coming in next year. How important is it to have that pipeline for recruiting?
Well, it's been good to Utah, hasn't it? I mean, it's been a successful pipeline, and Elaine Elliott, who's the coach here for years, and she's the one that kind of got that started, and she did a great job. And it's interesting. There's a lot of colleges trying to get into Canada in recruiting, a lot more than there used to be. But we feel like we still have a leg up because of all the history here. All the Canada basketball in terms of the Olympians that have come through this program. And so it has really helped us. You call it a Canadian, doesn't matter if they're from Nova Scotia or from British Columbia, they know Utah. And that's we have brand recognition there, and we're going to continue hitting that pipeline hard.
I'm curious if your thoughts on the balancing act that comes with playing freshmen significant minutes.
What do you mean balancing act?
So because there's enthusiasm that comes with a young player and sort of a hunger and desire to prove themselves, and then there's the reckless abandon that doesn't always
yes.
give you the most disciplined play.
Right. Yeah, and that's the beauty of being a freshman, is kind of sometimes you don't know any better. And then that's the downside of being a freshman. Sometimes you don't know any better. And so, for us, I think we brought in these 2, Kiana Moore and Megan Jacobs, with the intention that they would play this year, and they are playing. And their minutes and their significance in each game kind of determines on how they're playing. And so if it's more reckless abandonment and less understanding what we're doing, the minutes will probably be less. If there's an understanding of what we're doing, what they can bring, then their minutes kind of grow. I think they've done a nice job. Obviously every kid out of high school, it's a jump, and then to jump to the Pac-12 is a leap. And so, it's a 2 steps forward, 1 step back with all freshmen. But I'm proud of, they're putting work in. They both really want to be good. They're going to continue getting their opportunities. And for me as a coach, it's just kind of really, I think my job is to know them and know when they're kind of swimming or when they're kind of struggling, and to get them in, give them opportunities to succeed. But I think they're both doing a pretty good job.
Could you address each of their strengths individually?
Yeah, so Kiana Moore is a point guard, kind of a scoring point guard. Erica Bean, I would describe, she can score, but more of a facilitator, I think. And Kiana is, pound for pound, probably our most athletic on the team, just in terms of quick explosiveness, speed, jumping ability, all that. She's really athletic. And she's just learning. I mean, she knows how to score, and she knows how to defend. We're trying to teach her how to be a point guard with incorporating those strengths, and she's figuring it out. She's getting better. But she can shoot the three really well. We're just trying to – I think her personal – like her individual game is good. We've got to teach her how to kind of lead a team, kind of time management, clock, all that kind of stuff. But she's very competitive, really aggressive, all those things. MJ, Megan Jacobs, just kind of a strong, big, she's 6 foot, 6'1". She's got a Pac-12 build. Our strength coach, Jacqueline, said that she's the strongest freshman she's ever seen in terms of when she came in the summer, just kind of natural God-given strength. She just kind of has it. And then the thing with MJ's got a real great IQ. She kind of gets the game, even when it doesn't have to be explained. Like she kind of understands. You have to tell her things once, and she gets it. So she can kind of, she's backing up Paige Crozen right now. She'll try to earn that starting spot next year, but I think she kind of can run a little bit of almost like point forward type stuff because she really does understand passing lanes, creating shots for other people. So I'd say, and she can shoot the three. She can put the ball on the floor. She's still learning how to be aggressive to get her points, but they're definitely there. So I think both of them are going to develop into really good players for us.
Would it be the toughest part of the adjustment? Is it just the size and physical and speed of the players? Is that the toughest?
That is, I think, at first, when you realize how athletic, wow, everybody's good. Everybody's as tall as me. Everybody's as quick. But then as the season develops, or it kind of grows, I think game planning and strategy and knowing who you're guarding, how just kind of the strategic aspect is very eye-opening. Like, whoa, we don't just roll the balls out and play. Like, there's a lot of prep that goes into it. That's always a big adjustment too. And when they kind of figure out how to do that, not get overwhelmed, not get too wide-eyed, that's when they really start to find their groove as freshmen.
Have you seen an adjustment to them that's different in these? I mean, you only have 2 Pac-12 games to judge them on, but 1 win, 1 loss.
Yeah.
Have you seen any changes or any more? Or
ask me next week.
Okay.
Because I think, home games we'll see. But against USC, Kiana Moore was the reason that we kind of went on our run and won it. So she had 8 points in I don't know how many stretch. It felt like 2 minutes, but it was probably more like 4 or 5 minutes. And she just kind of took the lid off, took the pressure off, just doing what she's good at, coming off ball screens and attacking. She had a couple assists in that time too. So, in that stage, there's improvement there, understanding what she can do, what USC was doing defensively. But I think, you got to put things back to back before it starts to be legit.
Did you guys have any promotions or anything this week?
Promotions this week for our games.
Because you got a Friday night game and a Sunday game. Any where red and
Faculty staff on Friday is like a faculty staff appreciation.
Yeah, faculty staff appreciation on Friday, and then all the normal stuff we have in the concourse for kids and families and all that. There's free family passes online you can get, but the 7 p.m. on Friday and then noon on Sunday. I think both are on Pac-12 TV, so that the game times are set by them. But we hope Friday night, we just go one at a time. We can get a great crowd. It should be a great game. Like I said, ASU's in the top 25. We're getting votes. It should be a really competitive game. So hopefully we can have a great crowd.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.